Mike's Daily Podcast.
Hey, it's going to be a short podcast today because I got so much going on. It's amazing I'm even doing this today. Mike's Daily Podcast, and this is episode...
Mike's Daily Podcast.
What, really? 23,000... 2,300 rather. I got to learn how to count. 2,323... 2,300... 2,300. That's the end of the song. It's great because Mike sang it on a show that's called
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I would like to wish a big, happy, wonderful wedding ceremony to
Mike's
Ken
Daily,
who was on the show
Podcast
a couple of times recently.
Yeah!
He's getting married tomorrow. Congratulations! Yes! Also, I would like to say that we have so much going on in this world that distracts us. Social distractions, social media distractions. Be careful out there on the roads when you're driving. Keep the phone off. Don't answer texts. I guess you could answer a call if you got a hands-free thing, but really. So, yesterday was a very incredibly busy day. I was invited to a mix. I guess they're called a social mix, not a social mixer, like a networking thing for businesses. What do you call those? A chamber of commerce? It wasn't one of those. Anyway, somebody who's all into internet stuff and the social media world. He invited me to this, and I did not get to go because I got a little busy, and I was listening to stories about somebody was talking to me at my job all about speakers and how they have I don't understand, men and their toys, right? I love toys. I love to an extent. Would I love to have a fast car that never broke down, that got good gas mileage, that got me from point A to point B rather quickly? That'd be nice.
And here's today's podcast picture.
But speakers, I could care less. Oh, they're JBLs, man. They're JBLs. They're Bose speakers. Who cares? Hey, the podcast picture today is of Benita. I haven't posted a podcast picture from Benita, overlooking from the Alvarez 9th Street Park and Commodore Jones Point. There's a podcast picture you can see at mikesdailypodcast.com. And see it now at Mike's Daily Podcast now. Yes, mikesdailypodcast.com. I post that picture because years and years ago, before I lived in the Bay Area, I want to say in 1990, I was visiting the Bay Area. Oh, long before this guy, the late, great Basil the Boxer. In fact, he was with me this day I took this picture. This picture I took 5 years ago. That's right, Basil was there. 5 years ago, and... But in the early 90s, 1990, I was in Benita, and it was a sunset much like this, and I looked out and I thought to myself, because I was living in Southern California at the time, I thought to myself, I'm going to move here someday. Not necessarily Benita, but the Bay Area. And here I am, living here for over 10 years now, and working for over 5 years at the place I'm at now and enjoying it. Except when it gets really busy and crazy and, oh my gosh, and stressful. That I don't like, but that's every job. More or less. So, see that picture at mikesdailypodcast.com. Beautiful sunset in Benita. I don't know if I'd want to live there because it gets pretty hot. But, in the summer. But, my lovely lady friend, who you can see in the previous podcast picture from episode 2999. 2299 rather, because this is 2300. She lived there for a while. In fact, lived in a apartment that I used to park next to with Basil the Boxer. I had no idea she was there. Years later, I would meet her. The end of that story. So let's look at the reasons why you need to put down the social media, get rid of the social media. Less distraction. FOMO, the fear of missing out, is a very real thing. Research conducted at Duke University Center for Advanced Hindsight found that even if you turn off notifications, which I do, and all the experts say you should, you still feel anxious that you're missing out. Oh, yes. With my job, if I turn my ringer off, I feel like, oh, wait, is something happening that I'm missing out on? These distractions may seem harmless, but they play a part in your productivity as well. Joanne Cantor, PhD, Professor Emerita of Communications at the University of Wisconsin-Madison and author of the book Conquer Cyber Overload, said, when we stop ourselves to check social media again and again, it really becomes another form of multitasking, and multitasking makes whatever you do take longer, and you do it in an inferior way. Wow. So, Cafe Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valleymont is where we are today, the last place on earth. The American Psychology Association reports that multitasking, such as going back and forth between social media and a work-related task, can actually reduce your productivity by as much as 40%. After quitting social media, you'll find that you're able to focus on a given task until it's done, which will inevitably make you more productive and efficient with your work. Also, getting rid of social media helps you enjoy the present. Social media distracts you from enjoying the present. Let's say you're having dinner with your family instead of spending quality time with your loved ones, some of whom may not be around much longer. You never know. Everyone's faces are glued to their smartphones like mindless zombies these days. That's definitely not going to strengthen the relationships you have with one another. And it also cuts into you appreciating the precious moments that you have together. The very few moments, who knows how much time we have. And thus, you don't get to enjoy those moments when you're constantly looking at social media. Besides these distractions, there's also, it also helps you with sleeping better too when you get rid of social media. Eliminate push notifications to help you. Uninstall social media apps. Oh, it feels so good to do that as we go outside a cafe anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in Podcastro Valleymont, the last place on earth. You should uninstall all social media apps from your phone and log out of them on your computer. This is just a simple way to remove the temptation to view your social channels with one click or tap. Though it'll be a rough start, you'll eventually experience the benefits of not being tied to social media. And check this out. My stupid Samsung phone came with a Facebook app on it. I cannot uninstall it. It is there. But I have never, ever logged into it. I've just avoided it. And I love that. But I hate that my Samsung phone, it does something weird. Oh, yeah. So I try and do that thing where you say, and I can't say it, but it's basically you say a word that we all say, and then you say the word Google. And then it wakes up your phone, and then you can open apps. And I want it to like play Mike's Daily Podcast, and it does, but in this weird pseudo app. I'd much rather listen to it like on Spotify, which you can, and iHeartRadio, and Odyssey. I'm on just about every app. So, but the one that Google has is awful. Anyway, little distraction there, little tangent. Find new distractions. When quitting social media, start looking for other ways to distract yourself so that you can avoid dwelling on the anxiety of being away from your feed. Pick a new hobby, meditate, exercise, volunteer, read a book, actually meet and catch up with a friend face to face. It allows you to strengthen existing relationships and establish new and more meaningful ones. Great idea. I need to put that into practice, that's for sure. Look who's here. Right now outside a cafe anyway.
Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, gift shop supervisor. I love social media so much. I never unplug Mike Matthews.
That's good. Look who else. I mean, that's bad. Look who else is here. Hello, Mike. This is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Social media, Mike, was created by engineers, and that's why everybody hates engineers. Or do they love engineers because of social media? No, I don't think they do. See? Oh, it's tough. It's tough to catch a break in this world. I guess we'll sum it up with that. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. You can chime in about anything we covered today. 336MM Daily, 3 plus 3 equals 6. MM as in Mike Matthews, Daily as in what this podcast will try to be. Unless I get interrupted like I always thought. Man, I stubbed a toe today. That's how interrupted I get in my world. Interruptions, distractions, yikes. My lovely lady friend, she was trying to vacuum today and all this dust flew in her face, and she's sneezing and it's terrible, and then something burns because she's trying to make breakfast. It's one of those days, so hopefully it's a good day and a good 3-day weekend coming up really soon, so get ready for that. And with more, it's A-Frame.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!